Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is High in Fiber, and after an hour and a half of technical difficulties,
Fuck my life!
we are finally here for 2.5 Gamers. I am joined, as always, by NVZ, and as about 80% of the time, by Fizzy Stardust. I don't even want to ask you how you're doing, Zed, because I know. So we're just gonna skip you for now. Let's just. Mike, how you doing, man? How was Subway?
You know what? It's alright. Today has been a long day already for me. I've been up since the wee hours of the morning. I did a 2-hour drive. I'm in lovely town of Pleasanton. It's actually a nice day out. I found everything I'm gonna need in the future, such as Five Guys and a movie theater.
Everything
I'm here
you're gonna need for life.
Yeah, right?
Like, Five Guys is amazing.
It's legit status. So yeah, but I'm doing pretty good. It's been a long day though. Especially with an hour and a half.
It's been a long hour and a half, that's for sure.
Longest hour and a half of my fucking life. We're listening to this explicit, so I'm gonna say fuck as much as I fucking want. Oh my god.
So clearly, MVZ is having a fantastic time.
Oh, I am. It's great.
So, let's go ahead and ignore him for a little bit.
How was your day before today?
Oh, my day before today was great. I had a pizza, man. A 12-inch pepperoni. It was delicious. I watched the first time ever I watched Game of Thrones, Episode 1, Season 1. It was good. I was eating pizza, watching Game of Thrones, and then
you just had 12 inches of meat in your mouth while you were watching softcore pornography on your TV.
Pretty much, it was a good time. So, whatever.
But let's ignore the last hour and a half for a moment. Try and talk a little bit about the show, because this is a show about video games and not raging at XSplit and Twitch and all of the things that have just been ravaging our buttholes the last hour and a half.
Skype's good. I like Skype.
Skype is the only thing that has been working for us today.
Maybe Skype will sponsor us.
Maybe.
I would love that. But, Mike, I know you haven't played anything really this week, but I do know you're at regionals, so why don't we go ahead and start the show with you talking about regionals a little bit and how you think you're going to do.
Okay, so here's the dealio, you guys. Pokemon Regionals is this weekend. Tomorrow,
TCGO, that is, just to confirm.
No, both.
No, it's not TCGO. It's just.
I mean TCG. Yeah, that's what I just say. TCG.
But you're still wrong. So just shut up.
What?
Just tomorrow, Saturday, is the TCG starts. It's going to be a 2-day thing because there's so many people. If you make top 32, then you go Sunday. On Sunday, simultaneously to the top 32 TCG, is going to be the VGC Regionals. So,
really?
It's a whole week. Yes, really. So it's a whole weekend of Pokemon down here.
So you're going to be playing in the VGCs as well?
No, probably not.
Okay.
See, I hadn't planned on it. I kind of just fell into the knowledge that it's happening at the same time, and so I was like, I didn't really practice or make teams or anything like that, so I'm not going to be playing there. I may hang out for a bit because I'm going to be here.
Sign some t-shirts.
If you're in the area, go get a hug.
Dude,
Fizzy Stardust.
If you guys are in the Pleasanton area and you guys are going to be at the regionals, Pokemon, either game, let me know. Hit me up, and I'll you'll see me around probably. I'm short, so. And I'll wear all black. So there you go.
Brilliant.
Just short dude, black hat, black hoodie, black kicks.
So you're going to be a hoodlum.
Yeah. Oh, and how am I going to do? You asked that too. I don't know. I still don't know what deck I'm going to use, so that's good.
I thought you've been practicing for a month.
I have, and I keep flip-flopping between two, and I just can't get a grip on which one is the better play right now. So I'm going to hammer it out tonight after the podcast. I'm going to do 1,000,000 hours of testing because time is going to stop for me. And then I'm just going to wreck shit tomorrow. Hopefully. We'll see.
Well.
This is only my second sanctioned tournament also. So
what you're saying is you better win.
Yeah. But I won't be disappointed if I just suck and scrub out. But Either way, it's gonna be fun. Just the
You
important
just
part.
have to channel the power of the Sheikah.
Yeah. He's in Texas right now, which is where I want
Him and Zebra. I want to see him
Yeah.
with Zebra, and I want Zebra to find a dead vulture, put it on his shoulder, and take a picture and send it to me. That's all I want. That's all I
Because
want.
be
there are
awesome.
just dead vultures everywhere in the streets in
In
Texas.
Texas, there must be.
Obviously.
It's Texas,
There
man.
must- at least one within a 5-mile radius.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Find it.
why not? But
Why not? So that's what I've been
Zed.
doing all week. I've not played any games.
Mm-hmm.
Zed,
Yes,
you have the brain capacity right now
I
to
do.
talk about video games. Have you played anything? this
I
week?
have.
Besides playing with XSplit, that doesn't count.
That's not a game. That's not a fucking game. I've played a few things last couple of weeks. We didn't have a show last week because just things and stuff. The main thing, obviously, I've had a love affair, ladies and gentlemen, and I've fallen in love. Who have I fallen in love with? His name is Nathan Drake, and I beat Uncharted 2 recently. As I've been talking about last couple of podcasts or so, and finally got round to it. I was maybe like 3.5 or 4 hours till the end, and it's probably ranking up there among my favorite games of all time ever. It really is a pretty seamless experience. The thing that I think makes Uncharted stand out is it's very comparable to like a Harry Potter book in the way that it drives you forward. You do not want to put the thing down. Like, I have to force myself when I was playing it to put the controller down. It's very, very difficult because the way the story is told, the way that the action is always constant, the way that the scenery changes happen so constantly, and you're always intrigued and you always want to keep going and get to the next area. It's just a constant, like, adrenaline rush, as it were. And I think that's why it's so highly praised, because it's just, you want to play it more and more and more and keep going. So it's a very, very good game. And the thing that I find the most appealing, I guess, about Nathan Drake's character is how similar he is to the player, because he has the same reactions to situations. I was telling Fiber about this over Skype a few days ago, but I had 2 instances which just blew my mind while I was playing the game, because basically you go to these 2 areas later on in the game, or these things happen, and you see like this scenery, and I go, holy crap, and literally 1 second after I say that, Nathan Drake says holy crap, and I'm, wait a sec, did that just happen? Did he just say exactly what I just said? Like, literally as soon as I said it. And then there was another moment when, like, something was running at me or something, and I don't know, it was in a cutscene. I was like, oh shit, and then he said, oh shit, like, literally a second after I said it. And I was like, this is not happening. He just said the exact same thing that I've said, out loud, twice. Like, he is the player. The thing that makes him such an interesting character is that he isn't like, you know, like, I'm gonna kick everyone's ass. Obviously he does anyway, but he has, you know, normal human emotions and reactions to situations just like the player does. So that's why I think it's very, very cool. And it was kind of blew my mind, so there you go.
So you're not gonna write in a Naughty Dog and make him change the ending?
Dude, the ending's great. I really love the ending of Uncharted 2. Definitely the last, like, hour and a half of the game or so. I was getting, like, to the end and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be kind of similar to the first game, but it really isn't. I don't like the end of the first game. It kind of pulls a Resident Evil on you in the first game, and I'm not really too keen on that kind of style of gameplay. But the end of the second game is a lot better, I feel. It's something that I'm a lot more amenable to. So, yeah, I enjoyed the ending a lot. But yeah, beat Uncharted 2, so that's me just continuing my streak of completing games. I guess that's 1 per podcast for 5 episodes now, so doing well, I guess. I did play some other things. I was actually going through Portal 2 again, just for trophies, really, because I don't know why, but I just had this sudden urge to try and get some trophies. I was like, I want a platinum, and I don't have any, so I was like, okay, what's the easiest game for me to try and get a platinum on? And obviously Portal 2 has lots of co-op trophies as well, but I just went in there and I was like, okay, let's try and do some of these. And obviously I just went to YouTube and kind of looked through some of the more difficult ones. One of them called Overclocker, which makes you do this ridiculously difficult chamber in 70 seconds flat, and it took me a very, very long time to get that, but I did get it. That was a silver trophy, so I was happy about that. And my trophies on Portal 2 are now up to 40%, so I did a good chunk. That was good fun. But that's pretty much it for PS3 stuff, I guess. That was all like last week, because obviously I'm back at uni now and I don't have my PS3 anymore. Cry, cry, cry. And then I guess that's pretty much it. The only other thing I'd have to mention is that I did pick up Infamous. This is a game that I've been seeking to pick up and eventually play. And now that I've beaten Uncharted 2, Infamous is something that my radar is set to, because it is a game I've heard a lot of good things about, and the first demo I ever downloaded, actually the first thing I ever played on my PlayStation 3 was a demo of Infamous 2, and I was instantly just like hooked on it. So I'm very excited to go through Infamous and enjoy that game. But we'll obviously, I guess you'll hear more about that in a few months' time when I'm back to playing the PS3 again. But there you go.
I'm gonna start Infamous.
Have you got it?
I'm thinking that I should. Yeah, I got it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he got it free like I did when they had the PS3.
Oh yeah,
So I have it for free. It's on my PS3.
I played maybe 20 minutes of it.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go back and play it. I'm gonna make a list of things. I have to play. What's that Wii Mario game with the world?
Mario
Galaxy. Yep. I have the first one. I bought it ages ago. Haven't played it.
Yeah, you need to get on that. Galaxy.
I know.
Fantastic. I love the Galaxy games.
Yeah.
But there you go.
So yeah, I'm gonna play Galaxy and I'm gonna play Infamous this week.
Infamous is it's the thing that I find very appealing about it is how mobile Cole is. Like, as a character, he feels like Spider-Man, as powerful as Superman, and he's just like all these freaking comic book heroes rolled into one. Like, he is essentially a web crawler, because the way that he scales buildings is so satisfying. Like, the way the mechanics work, like, everything is pretty much, you can hang off pretty much anything on any building in the game. So it's very, very easy to burst things.
Did you ever play Prototype?
Yes, Prototype 2 is actually supposed to be really good, too.
Isn't, are Prototype and Infamous kind of like the same engine? Because they seem like they would be. Because Prototype was a lot like Spider-Man.
So. I'm pretty sure Prototype is developed in Canada, I believe in BC, but I think Infamous is an American release, so I could be mistaken on that.
Infamous is American, is from Sucker Punch.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, because like I remember Prototype had like a really close to Spider-Man engine, and so it just made me think of that. And they kind of seem similar to me, sort of, but not really. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Prototype was kind of cool for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't get too into it, but it was nice to play around with.
Yeah. It's obviously good enough to warrant a sequel.
Yeah. I'll probably check that out as well.
Oh.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm. So, yep, Infamous, I'll have things to say about that in the future. And so will Fizz, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk about it. We'll discuss.
We will. Alright.
So, Mr. Jake.
I have actually played games this week.
OMG.
I have decided that, much like
this week I played League of Legends.
I did. I even dabbled into some Dota 2 because it's so different. But no, I have decided that every time we do a podcast, I'm going to talk about an actual game that I don't play all the time. And I was sick this week, so I was in bed a lot, so I said, hey, I have an Ace card. Let me download some DS stuff. But what I decided to do was I got a game called Radiant Historia, which I had heard about in the past and kind of forgotten. I was like, what are some DS games? So I went online, and it popped up a lot. I said, okay, I'll get this. And it's confusing as all hell. It's very typical JRPG. There are, your 3-man party, turn-based combat. There's a few twists to it. The enemies have like this 9-square grid, and you can move them around that grid to create combos, and if they're in the back rows, they do less damage to you, etc. So there is a little bit of strategy involved. But what makes the game really cool is, similar to Chrono Trigger, there's a time travel aspect to it. There are 2 different timelines, really, and you kind of have to go back and forth between them in order to continue on with them. Very early in the game, you have a choice. You can either join your best friend and be part of the army, or you can stay as this like special ops guy. And very early on, if you go to join the army, you'll go to your first mission. It's at a mine, and you'll find out there's a cave-in, and the merchant that's supposed to be bringing the explosives dies, and you go back into your other timeline, and by playing that out, you actually save his life, and therefore in the other timeline, you are able to save the mission, etc., etc. So there's a lot of jumping back and forth. It gets quite confusing. There are like 236 events in the game, which includes just things that happen, times that you can go back and forth to, as well as endings that kind of screw the game up. So, there's a lot to unlock in that aspect. I've played, I think, 5 or so hours of it, and I'm about a quarter of the way done in terms of events. I've technically died and lost the game 3 times. But what's cool about it is, if you hit a dead end, the game doesn't say game over. You have to just go back and to the other time and do it then, and you continue on with your levels and experience that you've gained. So for me, I can go back to the very beginning of the game right now, and I'll be level 18, but the enemies will actually scale up with you, so there's no real grinding needed. There's always a challenge, but it's never ridiculously easy or ridiculously difficult. And there's also, of course, ways that you can cut or skip cutscenes, because as you jump back and forth, you relive a lot of cutscenes, which can be annoying at times, but if you want to unlock everything, it's really necessary. The music is fantastic. It's one of the best musical scores in the game that I've seen in a long time. As I was talking to MBZ earlier, I'm not a huge fan of the art style, but it does fit the game very well, and I do think that their characters are very well done. The main character is this, I want to say he has cloud syndrome. He's like this emo type of guy that kind of blames himself for some stuff that happened in the past, and he's very quiet and all of that stuff, but he's a really cool character, and his development so far has actually been really cool, and I would like to see how that continues on. Hopefully I'll have that beaten by the time we do another podcast.
I doubt it. But
I'm like I said, I'm 5 hours in, and I have unlocked a quarter of the game, and I've actually been unlocking everything. So I don't think it'll be too difficult to get through. I've looked it up. It's 20 hours, which is fine for an RPG. 20 hours, especially on a handheld, is perfect. Yeah. And time out. The greatest thing about this game, I don't have to use a stylus. It's hands down.
All right.
I hate the DS simply for that fact, because I have to have a stylus in one hand and then hold this big clunky son of a bitch in the other. That's why I like the Game Boy Advance better. You put it in 2 hands, there's one screen, and that's all you need.
There are hardly any games of that style that make you use the touchscreen, though. I mean, RPGs won't do that. Unless it's something like The World Ends With You, which basically relies on it, then it's not going to happen. So. Well,
the thing with Rating Historia is they pretty much ignore the top screen. You don't need it at all. Some of the cutscenes will kind of use it as top halves of your screen, and then your combat, that's basically where it shows whose turn and when your turns are up. But other than that, there's really no purpose to it. You can pretty much just use exclusively the bottom half, which is nice, which is why one of the reasons I'm enjoying it, because it gives me that old school Game Boy Advance feeling rather than being a true DS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Its cutscenes are very much Final Fantasy-esque. They're very much just dialogue driven. There are some movements in them, but it's pretty much just the face splash art with dialogue, and there's a fair bit of them. But
so kind of like Fire Emblem style as well.
Yeah, it's that's why I said it's like Fire Emblem. Way to catch on, Zed.
You said Final Fantasy.
You did say Final Fantasy.
I meant to say Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Idiot.
I'm pretty sure I said Fire Emblem. But
I heard Final Fantasy, so
it could just be the way that the sound picked up.
maybe.
Plus,
We'll listen to it back.
I had, like,
You listen to it back in editing, and you tell us.
Let's face
He's
it,
gonna
I don't
dub
actually
over it.
listen to this shit when I edit it. I just make sure it's all nice and pretty.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, Radiant Historia is something I've been interested in for a long time. I heard about it basically as soon as it got, when it was reviewed and stuff. I know that lots of people have no idea what it is because I believe it's an Atlas game, right?
Yes, it's an Atlas game.
It is. And Atlas notoriously having print runs that aren't that great, I wouldn't say. So, I mean, it wasn't very readily available for people to find. It was very, very scarce, I guess. So I believe that it was announced like a month or 2 months ago that they were doing a second print run. So if people don't have Ace cards and want to pick it up legitimately, which I would actually advise because it's a good thing to give to the developer, then you can go and pick up the second print run of Radiant Historia. So
yeah. Atlas is definitely one of my favorite developers for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They've done so many fantastic games through over the years. They did Knights of Lotus, they did the Shin Megami Tensei series, they did Persona, they did the Summon Night stories. It's just, so good.
They've done a lot of good stuff, yeah. So, there you go, Radiant Historia. I'll probably start that eventually, once I've cleared out a lot of other stuff. I've got loads on DS I want to clear out before I start another massive RPG.
They also did Demon Souls, so boom, more points to them.
Oh dear lord! Imagine
definitely sounds like something I'm gonna pick up as well.
Imagine me doing an LP of Demon Souls. That would probably cause a lot.
Demon Souls, the first isn't that difficult. There are a lot of easy mode ways through that game. The second one, they did fix a lot of those things, but I don't know. I don't. For you, yeah, you'd probably really.
I would die a lot. Oh my god.
But for good gamers, it's not too hard.
Yeah. Anyway, moving.
Speaking of Dark Souls, Beyond the Podcast that I put out the other day has it on there. You should go watch it.
Do that. Leave a linky link dink in the description dink. Yeah.
Yeah, do that. Whatever he just said, do it.
Anyway.
He just wants to play Shrinky Dinks.
Oh. Pleasant.
But, yes. So, I don't know of anything that's, like, out in Japan that we want. I don't know if either of you have heard anything.
Not out in Japan that we want, but used to be in Japan that people wanted, is Pandora's Tower, which got released in the United Kingdom today. People will recognize this from the Operation Rainfall thing, which was the 3 Japanese RPGs, Xenoblade Chronicles, The Last Story, and Pandora's Tower, which all were confirmed for European release, and none of them at that time were confirmed for release in America, and people got pissed off and they were like, fuck you Nintendo, you aren't bringing anything out in 2012 on the Wii, just give us these fucking games, please. And so eventually they kind of gave in, because they brought Xenoblade across, and then they are getting Xe to publish The Last Story. And I'm not sure who the hell they're getting to publish Pandora's Tower, but I believe that's now confirmed for American release. But yeah, Pandora's Tower is the last of these 3 RPGs. I'm not really sure if you can classify Pandora's Tower as an RPG strictly. It seems more like a kind of action-adventure game with loose RPG elements to it. But that has now been released in the UK and all across Europe. So I guess those are things that people wanted from Japan that we have now, which is a nice turn up for the books. So, there you go.
There you go.
The scoop.
It's kind of been an interesting situation we got here. We had PAX that went on last weekend, and I know there are a number of reasons why we didn't have a podcast last weekend, but the last 2 weeks there really hasn't been a lot to talk about.
It does feel like the calm before the storm. E3 is very, very soon. It's only a couple of months away. So I guess companies are holding things very close to their chest at this point. They don't want to reveal too much before E3. So I'm not sure how much news will be leaking out before that comes around.
However, there was something that has been announced that I know Fizz is excited about, and I told him we'd bring it on. And the reason that we're going to talk about this, and I'll get into it in a minute, is because, the Kinect is something that a lot of people don't like. It's seen as a gimmick thing. A lot of companies are trying to put it into their games. And obviously there has been some stuff that was put out where Skyrim is having some Kinect support now. There is Star Wars Kinect, which is absolutely terrible, and I will ignore its existence completely. But
I'm Han Solo.
But Namco Bandai has announced Dragon Ball Z for Kinect.
Oh yes.
Holy
the best thing ever.
Shit.
Everybody's just gonna be Super Saiyan.
Look, everyone in the world, who has ever even watched a single episode of DBZ has pretended to do the Kamehameha at least one point in their life. Yeah. Or if not, they pretended to do a Hadouken. But same principle. Doesn't matter.
Thing apply.
I want to stand in front of my TV so hard and do the Kamehameha and actually see it happen. This is the closest thing I can ever do to channeling ki energy and blasting it out my hands.
First and foremost is chi. Secondly, you definitely just want to do the fusion dance.
Yes! Buddy.
Oh my god. I did actually mention that to Jake last night. I was like, dude, I'm going to do the fusion dance so hard. But it's actually slotted for an October release, which is sick.
Yeah.
And not only that, 50 characters.
What? 50?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm sorry, over 50. Oh, yeah, buddy.
I have a feeling, though, that they'll do it similar to how they did the old school Dragon Ball Z games, is that, every character's in their Super Saiyan forms is a different character.
Yeah.
I can't even think of 50 characters in the universe total.
There are easily 50 characters in the universe total, but a lot of things, what they'll do is they'll use fusions, all the different fusions.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All the different... I'm not sure if Super Saiyan forms will be particularly separate, because in the Budokai games, couldn't you, Super Saiyan...
In the Budokai games, you could, but there was, 12 characters in those games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you could also start off as, Super Saiyan as well, so, you could, power, charge up to, the next level, but you could also, start out as one. I remember, you could play as Majin Vegeta, and, you'd always be, Super Saiyan, I don't remember. But... yeah, and so there'll be at least 4 Gokus and 5 freaking Vegetas and all that stuff. And then you have their 3 different fusions they had or whatever. I want to say 3 and maybe 2. Maybe you'll have their joke fusions where they didn't fuse.
I would hope not, because they would be terrible.
They would be horrible.
The fat guy they fused into, sick. I mean. Just people in the chat are stoked.
I just
3 people, whatever. They're dope. They're on fire right now.
There's so many bad things that could come from this.
Doesn't matter. I'm so blind to all of them.
Here's the thing. It's going to be done by Namco Bandai, so it's obviously the guys who have been doing Dragon Ball Z games for a while. But, Namco Bandai, they listen to their fans. Obviously, with Dark Souls coming to PC. Another thing I talked about on Beyond the Podcast, by the way. But they listen to their fans. So if they allow for some player feedback or whatever to make this not a complete joke of a game, because let's face it, there is no Kinect game that's not a complete joke. And if you think there isn't one, you're lying to yourself.
You're in denial.
You're basically NVZ thinking he can get XSplit to work today.
Yeah, fuck.
Oh, snap, got him.
But I would like to see that. And like I said, there's a lot of games that have been doing some really weird things with the Kinect. I would have never expected Skyrim to get Kinect support, especially now. It's been out for a few months. I don't see the purpose of doing it now. Obviously, Mass Effect 3 had some, and if anybody watched the TGS podcast, they're just like, oh my god, this is like the worst thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This could be the one thing that saves the Kinect, but at the same time, I am so skeptical.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical.
Let's be honest. Dragon Ball Z games, by and large, are not very good.
No.
The only reason you ever get a DBZ game is because you're a fan of DBZ, so you're blinded a little bit, and you're just enjoying the ride.
Exactly.
This will maybe push a few people to go ahead and get the Kinect, because it is a giant fan base, and it is a huge nostalgia bomb for everyone.
Here's the thing, though. If this game does not come out and get amazing reviews, nobody's going to go out and buy a Kinect.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the one thing that people would get a Kinect for. Unless somebody's giving me the Kinect, even as much as I enjoy Dragon Ball Z, this could be the greatest game ever. I'm still probably not going to go out and get a Kinect, because I would rather just play this at a friend's house. Because this is totally a let's get drunk and make an ass of ourselves in front of our TV type of game.
Definitely.
I'll tell you right now, I'm going to put $1 underneath my bed every day until October. And then when I lift up my mattress, there's going to be enough money for a Kinect and DBZ. And I'm just going to go buy them. I don't care. I'm going to take every single dollar bill I save and just make it rain all over GameStop. Because let's face it, that's probably where I'm going to go. And just throw money at them and give me that shit.
And then you're going to proclaim that you're going to do a Let's Play of it and never start it, or you'll do like one episode.
Yeah, exactly. I am going to do that.
Picture-in-picture LP.
It'll probably be...
That'd be the only way you could do a Kinect thing is picture-in-picture.
Yeah, you have to.
Because you got to look like an idiot.
Exactly. That's the point. The exact point.
Yeah, I know. And by that time I'll probably have a new computer, so it will be like a legit, like, sick as fuck, like, HDLP. And
you do realize that your HDLP is dependent on an HD capture card, not your computer.
I have one.
Yeah, he has.
Don't even worry about it, bro.
He's on.
But my picture, my little me doing Kamehamehas and
you could just get a really good camera and record it that way, and then just keep editing without needing a really good computer.
There. Dude. But yeah, and it won't take a million years to render. So, bro, it's gonna be sick. Is just my point. And then, like, if I just have a Kinect, no, never mind. I was gonna say I would think about getting the Star Wars one, just because I want to wave a light.
Star Wars dancing minigame, and you're like, no.
I know, that really killed it for me, and it really hurt my heart to know that
I'm Han Solo. Solo. I'm sorry.
That did more damage to that franchise for me than the bad trilogy.
Because I ain't no hologram girl. I ain't no hologram girl.
Oh god.
It's so bad.
It is. Like, I was gonna get it. Like, before I saw that, I was legit, I didn't care. I was, yeah, okay. I want to kick things, I want to push stuff with the Force, and I want to swing a lightsaber. And then I found out there's a dancing minigame, and I'm like, you fucks.
Not only
everyone at LucasArts
game.
Here's the thing, I would have no issues dressing up like a Jedi and going out in public in like Times Square and like doing backflips and like being a Jedi in public.
Yeah, I would probably do backflips.
Hey. First and foremost, by the time I had the money to get a legit like Jedi suit, I could do backflips. I would train.
Fair enough. Go on.
But I think I would rather do that than get a Kinect. That's just me.
Point well taken.
Yeah.
But I just look. I'm not too far away from like LucasArts and Lucas Ranch. I have heavily considered going down there, knocking down the door with my foot, and just punching everyone in the face who had anything to do with this stupid Kinect game, because it really hurts my heart.
Yeah, but let's face it, I'm pretty sure that they didn't have that much to do with it. I just think they said, yeah, sure, username. It's already been like dishonored enough. Just go ahead.
That's a good point.
But you do realize if you're gonna go storm the Lucas Ranch, you're gonna need a grappling hook.
Yeah, I saw that in Fanboys.
That was the reference. I'm glad you got it.
Yes, God, I love you. Such a good movie. Anyways, back to DBZ. I can't wait to turn into a Super Saiyan. That is all.
Boom.
Yeah, that's boom.
Wow.
Wow.
But you know what? I'll see how it goes. But like I said, with PAX just showing up, yeah, there's been a lot of trailers and a lot of screenshot releases and stuff like that. But in terms of news, there's not a whole lot. So what we're going to do, I think, is just talk a little bit about something that we are excited for coming out soon, later this year, etc., that isn't Dragon Ball Z Kinect, Fizz.
What?
There's got to be something that you want to come out besides Dragon Ball Z Kinect.
God, I don't even remember. I think we had this discussion yesterday, and I couldn't come up with anything.
Actually, we had this discussion like an hour.
Oh, okay.
It was like 2 hours ago
We had
now.
this
Because
discussion like an hour ago. 2 hours ago, and I had nothing. There's nothing.
Nothing
But
you
I know
want.
there's something.
Just in your wildest fantasy dreams of any game that could possibly be revealed at E3 and come out later this year.
Well, okay, I did mention, obviously, I know it's probably going to come out in November, but Halo 4, I don't even care. Whatever, I want to play it. I don't give a shit. But other than that, I know there's something else out there. It's just not hitting me.
well, I'll talk then while you think.
You go, I'll think.
I think the thing I am most excited for, and it's something that they talked about at PAX, and I watched a video of it. There was a conference from BioWare. It's the Dragon Age conference because, it's a 10-minute little video of them talking about what quote-unquote could or could not be in Dragon Age 3 because they're not actually at liberty to discuss it yet. But there are 3 things that they were talking about changing from Dragon Age 2 that kind of pick up more from the original that I'm excited about. First and foremost, new places. I'm so happy because Dragon Age 2 it hurt me on the inside because you're just in friggin' Kirkwall and that's like it. But in Dragon Age Origins, you're all over Ferelden. It was amazing. They're gonna make character decisions matter, including stuff that you just chose in the original 2 games. And
Right on.
you're
That's
also going to have, some costume stuff.
I think it just went off.
And yeah, he went offline, but we're okay. He's back online. So those 3 things: the new areas, the costume stuff that they're doing. That while they're still keeping their silhouettes and stuff, different armor is going to look different on different characters. So you're still going to be able to look really cool. And of course, the decisions that matter instead of nah, it's okay, you choose whatever.
Yeah. Blah. Whatever.
But I think Dragon Age 3, I'm pretty excited for. I'm not sure if anything.
How
else.
about we go round? I'll give you a pick and then we can.
Yeah,
come
you
back.
can go ahead.
Okay.
And hold time out, guys. Just quickly, if you guys have something you want to talk about, please feel free to add McBoss on Skype, and we can bring you into the call.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
So my game that I've been wanting for I don't know, the best part of 11 years. I don't know when the last time this was ever going to happen, but there was hinted a while back that there was going to be a new 2D Metroid game titled Metroid Dread, and lots of rumors about it, and it was even like an Easter egg in Prime 3 where it said Project Dread nearing completion or something like that, and it kind of just sunk and never really came out anywhere, and it disappeared, and I'm like, is there ever going to be another 2D Metroid ever again? And I'm just sitting here wondering, hoping, pleading that they will bring out a 3DS side-scrolling Metroid game. That I don't know who I want to develop it. I don't think Retro would be a good idea to develop a 2D game. Maybe someone like Intelligent Systems. They seem to have a good hand at lots of stuff. They're good at second-party devs, so I'd like them to do some stuff. But yeah, I guess that's my hit. my pick. I'm hoping to see something like that at E3. I can dream on, I guess, because probably not going to happen, but we'll see.
Okay, so I just remembered a couple things. I was talking to Jake last night about this one, and we were talking about just recently there's like a Nintendo reserved a URL for Super Mario Brothers 4.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome.
It's pretty exciting. The main reason it's exciting is because Nintendo said that they are releasing a new 2D Mario game for the 3DS, right? And what everyone was expecting was for it to be another new Super Mario Brothers games, which no one really enjoys and are getting tired at this point. But the fact that they've registered that domain gives us hope.
Yeah, I mean, it means it could be something like crazy new on the way, and that's awesome.
Just be a remake of Super Mario World.
And is that a bad thing? No, it's not.
Just say it. Don't get your hopes
Super
up.
Mario World is awesome.
It's going to be a new 2D side-scrolling game, so no chance of that happening. Basically, it's not going to happen.
Could be.
You say that, but
It could be.
very
It
well
could not
happen.
be.
They said new 2D side-scroll. That when they say new, that's what it means. They're not going to rehash that. I think that they have pretty much learned their lesson with, game ports on 3DS. Because people are sick of them at this point. The entire first year was full of them, so I don't think that they're going to go that route for a while at this point.
You don't think. You don't know.
They won't.
Yeah.
They can't. It's too damaging to them. They have to put out new titles. So, there you
Look. And I'm going to stay with Nintendo for a little bit. Mario Tennis for the 3DS is going to come out soon.
Yes, that's in May. It's a month away.
You didn't know there was a Mario Tennis in the Game Boy Advance, though.
Irrelevant.
It's
I never had a
completely
Game Boy Advance.
irrelevant.
I never had one. But look, I played Mario Tennis for the N64, and I had one for GameCube. Or whatever. Was it GameCube? It was GameCube.
That was a GameCube version,
So, yeah, I had both of those. Dude, you don't even know. We had sleepovers at my buddy's house, and fuck yeah. We were up until, I don't know, all night playing the Super Mario Tennis on 64. That shit was hot on fire, best game ever.
It was a very good game, 64. The
Best game ever.
GameCube one people are less fond of simply because of all the super duper power moves that made everything broken and kind of.
They got really annoying.
Yeah.
Powers. They were too often.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm looking forward to this.
And this game is going to be made by Camelot, who are famous for their just RPGs and Mario Tennis and golf games, basically.
They're basically famous for the Mario sports games and Golden Sun.
Exactly, the Golden Sun and the Mario Tennis / golf stuff. But the interesting thing with Camelot is the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games of the Mario Tennis they were kind of like RPG tennis games, which was very interesting.
The Game Boy one certainly felt like they just used the system of Golden Sun to be like, let's make tennis out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I actually enjoyed that.
It's very cool. It's a really cool concept. The thing I'm a little bit afraid of is that maybe they're not going to do this same thing for this game. This one does look a lot like the GameCube version, and I'm kind of predicting it to be a bit more like that, just straight down the line tennis game. I would love if they included a good story mode with good RPG elements. That would be very cool. But I am probably thinking it's going to be the former. Sorry. And it will just be a straight up tennis game. But I'm pretty hopeful for the online features. Apparently the people who have had some test sessions with it, with the online stuff, said very smooth and it's looking pretty nice. So, Mario Kart has paved the way for the online scene up for 3DS, and hopefully this can improve on it. We'll see.
Well, Mario Tennis is certainly a game that could utilize the 3D functionality quite well.
I think it would help quite a bit.
So I'm not surprised that they have decided to make that game. That is probably the one game that I would get a 3DS for, honestly, but it's still not anything that's coming anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. I had two more things just really quick. Two more games coming out in June that I'd like to touch on really quickly. New Spider-Man game. Everyone everyone loves a good Spider-Man game.
Except there hasn't been one in ages.
I like Shattered Dimensions.
Have you played Shattered Dimensions? Which system do you play that on?
360.
Okay. Because I played the DS game, and that's slightly different.
I imagine, yeah. No, it was pretty cool. I don't think I ever got around to finishing it, but it was okay. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it was cool.
Shattered Dimensions on DS.
It didn't have like an open world thing, so that's kind of made it like lose out on a lot.
Yeah,
there
that's
wasn't
the
like a
big
lot of
thing
web
with
slinking.
Spider-Man 2 is the open world thing.
Yeah, this one, I don't know if it's gonna be like that, but it's kind of looking like it from what I'm seeing.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be another open world game, which I'm pretty excited for.
That would be cool. And then I know something that me and Jake has talked about in the past is Lollipop Chainsaw coming out in June.
I've heard about it,
Yeah.
There was actually a new trailer released at PAX for that.
See, there you go. I can't wait. I really think this is going to be a good game.
Like I said when we talked about it, like on the original podcast, it has to be the most over-the-top, ridiculous thing ever. It has to become a cult game.
Yeah.
And then it'll do well.
I'm sure it will do. I'm sure it will.
I have faith.
Like it's got to take Dead Rising to the next level. Dead Rising is pretty over the top. You can wear like a tutu and beat up people with a freaking beach ball.
Again, I didn't care for that game.
It was a fun game. Like I enjoyed Dead Rising, but I think they got to take that and just take it like 10 steps up. And
yes, that's what I want. That is what I want. Like I feel like Dead Rising could have been so much better, but then it just wasn't. I'm looking forward so hard to Lollipop Chainsaw. She's got a boyfriend's head on her belt. That's sick. And he's alive still and he talks.
I'm really looking forward to Torchlight 2. What I'm not looking forward to is Runic Games is saying, ideally, we want to release Torchlight 2 slightly after Diablo 3. And I'm just like, no! Because I want both of those
wallet
games.
dry.
I want both of those games, and I can't actually afford either of them. And the thing with Diablo 3 that I'm just baffled by the outrage is the whole you have to be online to play it. And I don't see why it's that big of a deal, because StarCraft 2 uses the exact same feature. If I'm not connected to the internet, I can't go play StarCraft 2, because you have to be on Battle.net. I'm fine with that. Yeah, if I'm in an airport or something, I want to play Diablo 3, I can't. But you know what? It's not the end of the world. I don't know why people are that mad about it. I'd be more annoyed with...
No one has internet these days. That's
yeah, clearly. We're on the internet complaining about the fact that you have to have the internet.
Because clearly free Wi-Fi isn't everywhere. There's not a Starbucks, a McDonald's, a Burger King, anywhere that offers free Wi-Fi. Hotels, airports, none of those places offer free Wi-Fi. Not at all.
Fun fact,
They all do.
Fun fact, I was in Pearson International Airport in Toronto overnight twice last year when I went down to Florida. The internet there was better than what I had at home.
Wow.
Not shocking.
That is ridiculous.
You should just chill there.
Yeah, I'm going to just take an hour and a half train ride to Toronto so I can hang out in the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Totally. It'd be good. Anyway, I guess it's back to me again. I'm thinking about Wii U and potential Wii U launch titles, and
Arkham City.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. You know it.
City,
Year late. You know it. It's coming.
Yeah, man. I
don't
don't see it doing well at all.
Oh, I do. I don't see it doing like super obviously as well as it did when it launched. But there are plenty of Nintendo fans who only own a Wii and don't own any other system and would want to play that game. There are lots of people who would, and I believe it will sell well when it gets released. Simply because
a year later, no.
It will.
Because I guarantee you, by the time it comes out on
There are
Wii U.
people who
I could get that game on Steam for cheap or brand new.
the sort of people who own a Wii aren't the people who play PC games. This is the thing. Like, it doesn't matter if it is on another system for cheaper, because these are the sorts of people who are the Nintendo hardcore. They won't buy another system. They want to play these games, but they'll only go for a Nintendo system, so they're gonna only have the Wii U to play it on. So if you don't have the other platforms, you're not gonna buy the game, obviously, on those, so you have to get...
Here's the thing, though. In this day and age, I can go out and get a $400 laptop from Best Buy, and I can play just about anything I want. Yeah, I won't be able to play on max graphics or whatever, but most people these days have a computer they can play just about anything on.
You can't... No, I disagree highly with that, especially for people who, my sort of laptop setup, anyway, I couldn't run Arkham City on my laptop. No way.
How old's your laptop, though?
Like a year, but it's not very high end. Most people who just own a standard laptop won't have the horsepower to run games like that. And yes, you say $300-400, but that's the money that they're going to be dropping on a Wii U anyway. So that's the system they want.
The Wii U is not going to be $300-400.
It will be. The Nintendo,
not when it comes out.
Yes, it will. What do you expect the pricing to be?
I do not expect that to be any lower than $500.
It will not. Nintendo. Do you have any idea what Nintendo do with their hardware? Because I don't think you do. Nintendo's hardware is never that expensive, okay? The 3DS was a little blip on the radar. A lot of that was to do with E3 hype. Journalists kind of, I guess, caused a little bit of that death of the 3DS early on, because everyone was so high on the 3DS at E3 that Nintendo kind of took that. They took all the positive stuff and said, okay, maybe we can price this thing higher than we usually could. We're on top of the world right now. We've sold the most systems. We've sold everything. We can price this at $250. They were clearly wrong. They have learned their lesson at this point. And the Wii U, I guarantee you right now that it will not be more than $300 on launch. Guaranteed. A lot of that, obviously, is because the hardware inside it at this point is 5-6 years old. Like, it's around PS3, Xbox 360 quality. So it's not going to cost $500. All the parts are going to be very cheap. I guess a lot of where the price is going to come into it is with the tablet controller. So that's where most of, I guess, the price is going to be leaning towards. But I guarantee it will not be $500. You're crazy if you think that's going to happen.
I will put money on it being around $400.
I wouldn't.
I don't know. I don't see it like a $300 launch.
As the resident Nintendo guy here, I am telling you right now, for certain, it will not exceed $300. If it does, then $350, but not higher than that. It won't. It will not. But I guess.
But if you think about it, you got to drop another, 50 on the game and stuff too. So I mean, you could say that they're both comparable prices.
We don't know what they're going to do in terms of a pack-in, because Wii Sports was obviously one of the most successful things for the Wii. That was a pack-in.
Oh yeah, but I just mean like Arkham City. They're not going to pack in Arkham City.
No, of course not. But I mean,
it's going to be some like baloney game.
There might be bundles with it. Lots of places to do bundles. Like Vita's been going for a bundle where you buy it from HMV and you get a game free. So I could get Uncharted with the Vita for free, basically. So. Stuff like that will happen.
Yeah.
But, yeah, in terms of Arkham City selling well, no, it won't sell phenomenally, but it will sell well, I feel. Especially if Nintendo don't...
I agree with you there.
If they don't have that stellar launch lineup, which I'm hoping they will have a stellar launch lineup, again, drawing on the fact that the 3DS was so unsuccessful at launch, they have learned their lesson. They know that they need a strong first-party lineup out the gate, otherwise they are fucked. Because, they don't want to repeat the same scenario again. Dropping the price on a home console is slightly different from dropping the price on a handheld. It's, I guess, a bigger sort of deal. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah.
Plus, and I was just gonna say, like, I just prefer consoles. Like, I'm a console guy.
Mm.
I feel weird playing on the. I mean, I suppose I could go out and get any controller, plug it into my laptop and drop some decent coin on a decent laptop and and play off of Steam or whatever. But I just like, I don't know, I just like prefer having a console, and then I like to have my laptop life separate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree.
Yes.
Anyway, what were we saying again?
Games you're excited for.
Alright. Oh yeah, I was gonna say something on Wii U that I was excited for.
So yeah, Wii U.
Well, there have been some rumors lately about the potential of F-Zero coming to the platform. I'm not the biggest F-Zero fan myself, but F-Zero is a game that is definitely been out of the consciousness of Nintendo fans for a long, long time, and it's probably, hopefully, gonna revive itself on the Wii U, and I feel that could be one of the best looking games ever. If F-Zero in HD would blow my mind, because the way that game runs on the GameCube is pretty incredible as it is, and that's in standard definition. I think F-Zero has some ridiculous stuff that it can do with its frame rate. People bumped the frame rate up to like 120 frames per second or something, and it ran just as smoothly as it did on standard frame rate. It's pretty crazy, that game. So there we go.
I don't know. I'm just not a big Nintendo guy.
I know. I've realized this.
It's just, I don't know. Especially if the Wii U comes out, if it is, $350, $400 in that range, because they've already said it's going to be more expensive than the Wii when it came out. The Wii averaged around $300 if you go through everything, and I don't know. If I'm going to spend $350, I can go up and buy the comparable system of the 360 or the PS3 for cheaper than that.
You can, yes, yeah.
And by the time the Wii U comes out, I guarantee you there will at least one more price drop on both of those systems. As I mentioned in Beyond the Podcast, I will not be surprised if there is a price drop on the PS3 soon, because they are still behind the 360. And I don't know, why would I go out and spend more money for a system that is still comparable to what I already own?
You wouldn't, and that's the thing. It's obviously about the individual, because you aren't the sort of guy who's going to go out and drop money on a Wii U. I am, but that's how it works. We're just differently inclined. But on the point with the PS3 and the 360, I'm not too sure that the PS3 is that far behind in terms of sales, worldwide sales in general. A lot of that has to do with the fact that in Japan, the 360 basically doesn't exist, and PS3 kind of has the HD hold on the market there. And yes, Japan is a small market, but it sells a lot of units over there. So I'm not quite sure as to...
Actually, the numbers worldwide are the 360 is still a fair amount in the lead.
Well, I guess it does have a 1-year lead on the PS3, and the PS3 had a lot of issues to start with, but I feel that that's probably going to change up a little bit in the future. We'll see.
Alright, I'm going to jump in here with my 2 cents. Hi, by the way.
Hi, Ferris.
Hi, Ferris.
He's been here for a while, guys. He's just been quiet.
Yeah. I actually had my mic muted because I've been coughing my lungs off. Out. They're not off. I've been coughing them out. They're in me.
Yeah.
So,
He's coughed them out, he stuck them on his chest, and then he coughed them off.
Yeah. But I think that I'd just like to say that the PS3 and 360 are both equally less dumb than the Wii. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Thanks, Ferris.
Thanks for the insight.
So, oh yeah, I'm also excited for the new Smash Bros. Game coming out summer of 2016.
Yeah. You know it.
Actually, wait, no. What I'm most excited for right now is 2 days from now, on Sunday. Well, I guess for MBZ it is now 1 day from now. Mm-hmm. But Project Melee demo version 2.
Excellent.
It's going to be released. It's going to be great.
You're gonna just do that all day. I know it.
Oh yeah, that's going to be my Sunday.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll tell you this much about Wii U. I'm not getting one.
Same.
I will never buy one with the name Wii U. That is a fact.
I hope to God they change the name at E3 because
Okay.
If that
Fucking hell.
comes out and it's
Wait,
legitimately
wait.
called the Wii U, I think half the people
Unpopular
who are
opinion
thinking
time.
about getting it will say no. Just
I
because it
love-
sounds that dumb.
I love the name Wii U, and I don't care who knows it. I think it's a sick ass name.
Okay, do you want to go to the nearest hospital, Fizz? I think we need something to take you away because no.
I think there's something wrong with that bacon that you.
I think it's more reasonable for him to say he likes the name than to say that he'll buy it when he doesn't even know the launch titles.
Yeah.
I didn't call it Wii U. Because it's so much fun, you're gonna have to go to the hospital because you just went crazy.
Okay.
Wii U, Wii U, Wii U.
Oh man, Jesus
That's what it
Christ!
stands for.
I kind of.
If they change the name to the Wii U Mad, I will probably.
That'd be so sick.
They'd have to somehow create it so the system itself is shaped in the troll face.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm very scared for the Wii U. Nintendo have been diminishing as of recent because of they've obviously lost a lot of.
Recent.
No. As of recently. Okay, fuck you. Okay.
No. I wasn't pointing out the grammar, which I was actually kind of pointing that out. But what I was mainly pointing out was that like after the GameCube.
No.
DS,
I'm talking about
just-
in terms of sales, right? In terms of
So is he.
in terms of how successful they are. He's not talking about sales. Nintendo fucking trounced everyone this generation in terms of sales. That's no lie. But they recently have been doing terribly. They've lost money for the first time in a very, very long time. People aren't buying the system anymore. 3DS has had a very, very shaky launch, and this system is very risky. It's not, I guess, as risky as the Wii was, but it's very odd, and it's kind of out of left field because they are trying to keep their casual market. A lot of that has to do with them keeping the name, keeping the brand of Wii, which in itself is kind of confusing to the casual market because a lot of people will think this is an add-on for the Wii. A lot of people were confused at E3. Even journalists were confused as to the fact as to whether this was a new system or just a controller add-on. Like, people were very, very murky about the system. So that's a problem, I feel. If they keep the name, even the casual audience are going to be very confused about it. Secondly, they're trying to hit back to their hardcore audience, which is very difficult at this point, mainly because all those guys have migrated over to PS3 or 360 at this point, and to have a new system which doesn't really outpace the ones that they currently have, on which they can play the games that they're already enjoying, is very difficult to see. To see that happen. So, well, I'm scared for it. I'm very scared, but I have faith, and we'll see. We will see, indeed.
I think here's the problem. They're trying to appeal to casual and hardcore gamers when, in fact, there are three types of people they need to be addressing. One, the people who don't play games. So stop trying to convert them, Nintendo, with your casual games. Two, the people who they think are casual gamers when actually they're just retards and they cannot take 5 minutes to learn how to properly control a normal, controller. It doesn't look like Lego or an actual TV remote.
Lego.
And then three are the actual people who played their games, from like the N64, GameCube era when they had some pretty good games, like actually really good games. Those are still probably my two favorite consoles, but
yeah, and
those people they've lost because they've tried to appeal to the retards too much, and they've tried to convert the non-gamers too much.
They've turned their back, I guess, a little bit. And you can argue the case against as well, because they have had some very, very solid titles on Wii. But Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, 2 Galaxy games. I would argue
Skyward Sword was like, as a Wii game, it was an average GameCube port. If you look at it as a Wii game, if you look at it as a GameCube game, then it's a really good game. Like, it's so much better on the GameCube. It's not even funny.
Well, I haven't
I played
GameCube versions, but,
Here is my 2 cents about Nintendo. They came out with the Wii, fantastic. That changed a lot in terms of the video game market some of the stuff they could do, whatever. Yes, they sacrificed their actual system innards and their specs and all that stuff to be able to do some cool stuff. The motion control obviously got ported over to both the 360 and the PlayStation in one way or another. And they didn't do nearly as well with it as Nintendo did. But by doing that, they basically said, screw the hardcore gamer, and basically ruined that market for themselves. Now they're coming out with the Wii U. I don't see the hardcore gaming market coming back to them, and I don't see the Wii U being this giant game-breaking mechanics that the Wii had. So now they're not only losing out on their, hardcore market, because let's face it, the biggest games right now, Call of Duty and Battlefield. As terrible it is to say, those are probably the two biggest sellers, except for maybe say Skyrim, and just because Skyrim is on 4 ports. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where they don't care. The hardcore gamers, they are going to stick with their Microsoft because, their online servers infinitely better than anything Nintendo and Sony have. Can't get that market back. Your casual market, obviously, it's cool that you have party games, but that's not going to keep you in business. Unfortunate it is to say, you can't continue to just put out all of these party-type games for the casual gamers. Yeah, it's cool, the family will do it, but more often than not, they're probably going to sit on your shelf collecting dust. Yeah, you'll get some money for it, but unlike, say, something like Steam is a perfect example. Steam is keeping so many companies alive because of all the ridiculous amounts of sales they have. They'll have a 10-year-old game, you'll go out for like $3, boom, thousands of people suddenly buy it. All that money goes back into the developer. Nintendo doesn't have that opportunity. They don't have the greatest hits to keep those, golden gems in the rotation or anything like that. It's you buy this game full price, and more often than not, people play it for a little bit, or they'll play it at parties, because that is the Wii. It's not a hardcore thing. It's for casual gamers. When you market your stuff towards the casual gamers, you ruin everything. Look at World of Warcraft. That market hates it now. You look at Nintendo, the same thing. I hate to use the League of Legends thing, but they don't market their game towards the newer players. They market towards the pros, because that's where their money is. You got to go towards the hardcore gamers. And when you shut the door on them, you shut the door on millions upon millions of dollars, because that is really where gaming should be focused on. Yeah, it's nice for casual gamers, but leave the casual shit to the mobile apps and stuff like that. If you're making a console, you need to literally focus on your hardcore gamers, because they're what's going to keep you alive. If you look at professional fighting games, that's a really small market, but the niche is so incredible that it's continuously growing. Obviously, we've had, it's as funny as it is to say, we now have the porn site Brazzers sponsoring a professional fighting game player.
LOL.
That was hilarious.
And it's you're going to continue to grow, because the hardcore market, esports, one of the biggest markets out there right now, and it's continuing to grow. And I think that if Nintendo wants to do well, and unfortunately at this part in the game, I think it's too late for them to jump into it, but they're going to have to try that with the Wii U, get some hardcore competitive stuff going on, because that will keep you relevant, is probably the best word to say. Mm-hmm. That's just my 2 cents. I think they really shot themselves in the foot with the Wii, and I don't think that putting out a system that is comparable to the current gen of the 360 and the PlayStation 3 without doing something groundbreaking for the market is really the best thing for them.
You know what I think?
Yeah. No, wait, hold on. Before I forget,
Okay.
Fiverr brought up a really good point about, like, it's family game, and, like, it's really cool that the family does it. And when you're thinking about releasing a new system, the whole thing is, like, gamers are going to go buy the new system. A family is not. Okay? Like, a family gets a Nintendo Wii because it's fun party games, it's all this stuff, and they're active and whatever.
And it was cheaper than the 360.
Yeah, you can't pitch a new system to that market, because they're like, why? We already have this. We don't need that, because we already have that already here with us. Like, we don't need a new thing. So that's the market that they were shooting for, that they have, they're not going to sell a Wii U to.
Not to mention, you're also running the risk of that market going to the Kinect, because they're both essentially the same market. You're gearing it towards the family, the interactive. I mean, the Kinect is more geared towards younger children, and the way the 360 is right now, it's pretty easy to get your hands on. It's not going to break the bank. Obviously, the Wii isn't either, but when it boils down to it, for Nintendo, it needs to sit back and say, when was the last time we sat on the couch and said, hey, family, let's play some video games together? Market isn't that big.
Silence.
Yeah, awkward silence.
Oh yeah, I was saying something.
Yeah, Faris, I was waiting for
go ahead,
Faris to jump in.
Kickstart projects. More of those need to happen.
Oh, shut your mouth.
Segway!
There are definitely not enough Kickstarters out there. It's become a fad.
Okay,
Wait, I'm confused. You said shut your mouth. There's.
I'm being
It's become
sarcastic
a
when I
fad.
say
There's-
there needs to be more. Like, everybody
they're
and their pet
good.
dog have a Kickstarter now,
That's good then. I mean, if people want what they're doing to happen, they'll give them money. And the power is literally in the people who want the game to happen, and the developer has complete creative freedom, and it's good.
Here's the thing, though.
you know-
I understood why the Wasteland Kickstarter started, because they went to every developer or every publisher and said, we want this, our fans want this, will you back it? And the publisher's like, no, we don't want it. Then that's fine. But if you're just like, hey, let's Call of Duty, whatever the next Call of Duty is, if they go ahead and start a Kickstarter,
They don't need a Kickstarter for that.
But that's the thing,
It's
though.
like-
A lot of these people
I'm-
don't technically need a Kickstarter. They
I'm
have
talking about-
a lot
the
of
ability to do
the
it.
people so far who have done it
Specify.
all
I'm
legitimately
talking about
do
indie
need a
developers.
platform.
I'm talking about indie developers,
Exactly.
man. Like Tim Schafer,
Yeah,
Possible Psychonauts 2. That just would be so awesome.
yeah. I mean,
And
they
that's probably gonna happen now because he got enough money.
all the Kickstarters that have been going on are all relevant because none of those people can make the money on their own, like via usual means. So it's not like that situation that you're saying with Call of Duty. That's not.
Here's the thing, though. All these indie devs are going to start doing Kickstarters because they don't have to take a loan. This is them saying, hey, why don't we get this money that we don't have to pay back? That's why you're seeing so many of them come out now. A lot of these indie devs, especially that have come out lately, not including, the Wasteland and stuff, yeah, they could go out and get, $100,000 loan, make their game. For something like the Yogscast that are doing it, not as likely to do, but you're suddenly seeing this, okay, let's have a charity event, give us all this money that is going to be in our pockets. Yeah, it's going to the game, but that's not money that we need to make back. It's money that said, okay, now we have it. Everything that comes in after this is pretty much going in our bank account. Which, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's great that gamers are having a say, but I don't like the fact that these Kickstarters are essentially becoming more of a fad than a tool to help the people who need it. It's going to be people who want it now. So, my 2 cents there. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's great. I'm really happy for Tim Schafer and the Wasteland Kickstarters. If the Yogscast gets their money, that's fantastic. Good for them.
There's two sides to every coin, is
I
what it
just
boils down to.
Don't want to see every game that is going to come out suddenly have a Kickstarter because they're an indie dev and they don't want to get a loan. Really,
Fair enough.
Really all there is to
Yeah.
it from my sense of view.
I'm okay with this .jpg.
What is your opinion on the Yogscast Kickstarter, though? What do you think about what they're doing?
Personally,
Wait, what are they doing?
I
Okay.
couldn't care less.
So the Yogscast are basically making their own game, and it does feel like a complete Minecraft ripoff, which it kind of pretty much is. They have lots of issues with Minecraft. If you watch their videos, they always complain, like sarcastically, yes, but they do feel like there are issues with the game that they would love to change, and they're kind of making a game in that vein, like a very easily moddable game, multiplayer based, and they are basically, making it very similar to what Minecraft is, and so they're starting a Kickstarter for it. Obviously, they've got a company in America who are going to develop it for them, and they are trying to raise $250,000. They're currently at $186,000, so looks very likely that it's going to happen.
when I saw that, I laughed and I said, "Why?" You're famous on the internet, but what knowledge do you have that's going to bring a game to the table?
Look, they don't have the knowledge, but what they do have is the fan base, and they have the I guess the vision to. They know what they want out of this, and I guess they're very enterprising in this sense because they know that YouTube and all this money they're making off YouTube won't probably be around forever. They can't make an entire life's living off this. So by doing this, it's very smart. They're branching out into the gaming industry, and they're trying to, make their own game, which they'll make lots of profits off of as well. And it's something that they can do in partnership with this developer. It's something that gives them an extra sort of income, and something that they can fall back on if indeed the YouTube thing eventually falls apart, which it's bound to eventually because, I doubt YouTube's going to be around for a very long time. They're going to be relevant for that long. YouTube's very changeable. Things get popular and unpopular very quickly. So
here's the thing, though. It just seems to me like a money grubbing. We just want more money, and that's fine. Everybody wants more money, and they're going to do whatever they can do to get it. And the Yogscast have a giant fan base. There's no denying that.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see a point to them making a game, especially when it's Minecraft 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... Especially... Okay, here's the thing. I can go out tomorrow and pay about $100, I believe it is, for a program that would allow me to make my own game. That's cool. That's fine. I can do that. I can do whatever I want with it. There's no point to me doing it. Just like there's no point to the Yogscast making a video game. They are famous for their Minecraft shit. And it's just, we want some more money.
I don't necessarily think it is that. I think it has a part to play. But I definitely think that it's just them being enterprising, to be honest. Because they're just trying to have, vision for the future. They want to give themselves, some kind of employability, I guess.
But rehashing a game that's already out doesn't give them a vision.
It's not a vision, particularly. But what I kind of foresee is that they are going to potentially move the Minecraft stuff sort of out of their rotation in favor of this new game when it does get released. Is what I'm thinking they're going to do. But, hey, we'll see. I guess. And stuff. Yeah.
I mean, the thing with the Yogscast is they didn't actually get partnered because of Minecraft. It was Cataclysm Beta that they really got their name in. They just happened to get a hold of Minecraft and blew it up.
They exploded with Minecraft, yeah. Very much so.
They got their hands on the right thing at the right time, and that is really, when it boils down to it, what YouTube's all about.
It is, yeah, very much.
I mean, you look at guys like Hutch and CNNers, they were like, boom, Call of Duty, let's get our foot in this before everybody else did. They're doing well for themselves. Yogscast doing well for themselves. But I think that's why I'm a bigger fan of Total Biscuit than anybody else, because his niche isn't a game, it's news.
Which is why he's not as successful, and that's the problem.
He's incredibly successful.
But when you take a look at his success in comparison to the Yogscast, it kind of pales.
I guarantee you he makes more money than any of them, because he goes to the developers. He gets first look at things that nobody else on YouTube
But he doesn't get paid to do that. He doesn't get paid. He doesn't get paid to go to the developers.
He hosts StarCraft tournaments and makes incredible amounts of money from it.
From hosting a StarCraft tournament.
He makes money outside of YouTube, which is a lot of things that a lot of people don't do.
Mm-hmm. I just don't feel that. I don't know. I don't know how much money that really is that he's making, to be perfectly honest, outside. Because I don't see how going to a developer to look at their game, they're going to pay you that amount of money. That's going to really be.
There are indie developers who contact Total Biscuit, so he'll do a WTF is of their game.
Well, yeah, a lot of people
do that. It's the only way they'll get stuff to get out there.
Yeah, I know there are lots of people who do that, but yeah, it just.
And when it boils down to it, the Yogscast was introduced by Total Biscuit.
To the game
He was
station.
the one that was how they got on the game station, was because of Total Biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that if they had never happened, the Yogscast would never have been relevant.
Yeah.
You can't go back and say that because, hindsight's 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But, he's done so much, not just for YouTube, but for indie devs, for gaming as a whole. He's got so much insightful things to say, which is just one of the reasons I think he's probably my favorite YouTuber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why don't you go marry him?
Oh, because he's married.
Oh dear.
God.
Jesus.
He's British.
Yeah.
Shit.
That makes him awesome. Jeez. Duh, winning.
I didn't say he wasn't. Just saying, go marry him. I love him so much.
Why don't I marry you?
Yeah. how about that?
Sick.
All right.
Hey, if you did, you could live in America.
A real country.
Just wait for California to repeal Prop 8. Let's go.
Okay.
We'll just look like Utah.
So where are we at?
Dude, I'm not moving out of California to go to Utah
For a day. Well, just
for a day.
just go get married. I think it's legal there. I don't know.
Oh god. No way is it legal in Utah.
Hey, if it's okay,
That's like
Dude, look,
that's the Mormon capital of the world.
just go
if
to
you can marry
Vegas.
like 8 people, you should be able to marry one dude.
Okay, go to Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
We don't want it to stay in Vegas. We want this out in the open.
Yeah, we want it everywhere. I want it all.
Billboards.
I just want it all over everyone's face.
Yeah.
That's taking it too far.
No, you're too far.
Touche.
Touche, Shay. Anyway, moving swiftly onwards, I don't think we have any more topics to discuss. So,
But if there are any of you out there who have something you'd like to say or ask us, don't know if Vic
please
Boss
ask.
has any callers yet, but we could, do some call-ins. If that's okay with you guys.
if you
Oh,
would
you got
like-
2.
No, we have 2. Okay, very cool.
Well then.
Let's do it.
You know what the funny thing is, Jake? I think Emily would be totally okay if I married you. Just saying.
Duh, I introduced her to Star Wars. God.
Jesus.
That's true.
Jesus.
After regionals, I'm gonna be a sub to the Old Republic, by the way.
That's fantastic.
It's gonna be great.
I haven't reset.
Then every week when you ask me what I played, I'm gonna be like, oh, please.
Oh, what a shocker, guys. We got Nagi.
Oh
Our
goodness.
favorite mascot.
Always Noggy, isn't it?
I'm telling you, dude, I have the best questions.
Alright, thanks for the question, Nagi. We'll talk to you later. Bye. No, I'll call him back. I'll call him back.
Oh goodness.
I approve of how that was handled.
Okay. Hit us.
Okay, I got 2 questions. First one, what old franchises would you want rebooted?
That haven't been rebooted in a while, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kid Icarus. That's not gonna happen, is it, ever? Is it? No?
It already did.
Wait, I'm sorry. Were you not here 3 weeks ago?
Really?
Because Uprising was kind of,
Ferris.
released.
Sarcasm.
Yeah, Uprising was released.
It's called sarcasm, Ferris.
Oh yeah?
Shut.
It's called me not catching your sarcasm and
Okay.
you just forgot.
Okay.
I'd kind of like to see a new Call of Duty, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's probably what needs to happen.
Definitely. No, seriously, rebooted. I feel that Star Fox needs to be rebooted, to be perfectly honest, because
In the airship.
since
It was-
Star Fox 64, that franchise has been just like, it's been kicked and
Okay.
punted around the playground.
No, I don't understand. Am I the only one on Earth that likes adventure?
I kind of like Star Fox Adventures. I haven't played too much of it. I think it's a relatively decent Zelda clone, but there's a lot of annoying, like, collecting things and stuff in it.
For anyone who was
Like collecting scarabs and shit at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
like for anyone who wasn't here last time I said this, I stopped playing adventures within the first like 90 seconds because I just could not stand it.
Did say that,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm a blue fox, not fox. I'm a blue fox flying around on a pterodactyl fighting this thing. I don't. This isn't Star Fox, and then I stopped playing.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Assault, honestly. I thought that was pretty fun. But
Like
I
Star
know
Fox Command for the DS, like the one where it's like an RTS where you
I
move
thought
people with the
Command
stylus.
was dick.
Command
I hated it.
was very bad, I felt, as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like the only game that I can safely say is like objective. Like the only games I can safely say are just objectively good in Star Fox are 64, and then I'm gonna be honest, I've never played the original, but I've heard people say it's really good, so I'll take their word for it.
It's not as good as 64 as what people say, but
Yeah.
it is still
After that, I feel like God, they kept doing so many things wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It was just ridiculous. Like the 9 endings to Command, there were like one of them. Actually, there was one ending to Command that I think would have set up perfectly for a new Star Fox game, and it would have just been amazing. But the fact that they had 9 endings, they were just like, oh nope, we're gonna accidentally this franchise.
Were the endings like Mass Effect bad?
Well, no, the endings were all very different, so it had that over Mass Effect. But
Okay.
oh, spoilers. But just most of them were just complete crap. The one I was talking about, if you haven't seen this ending of Command by now anyway, then you probably just deserve to have it spoiled. So I'm just gonna say it. In this ending, they terraform Venom, and then Dash, that little monkey guy, who is good, he becomes like the leader of Venom to just sort of lead them to become a prosperous planet. And he eventually the power goes to his head, and he just sort of starts to become evil, and he becomes like a second Andros in a way. And so, like that's how the ending ends off, is that he's like he's just becoming power hungry. And I think that would have set up amazingly for a second Star Fox game. But or not a second one, obviously, but a next Star Fox game to lead after that. But nope, we're just gonna throw in 8 other endings. In one of the endings, this was the biggest kick in the balls to the entire franchise, in my opinion. I was just like, that hurt me in places I didn't even know I had. This ending, Fox and Falco decide to quit Star Fox. They modify their R-Wings to become these racing machines that look like
Pimp Wings!
And they join a racing circuit. I was like, are you kidding me?
That sounds awesome. What are you talking about?
Nintendo, what are you...
No, dude, okay, imagine a Star Fox F-Zero crossover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Star Fox X F-Zero.
X.
Both of them
DLC to the max.
Zero.
their own. I don't need
It's
need them crossed. It's
barrel
it's
rolling with the Blue Falcon. Like, come on.
It's like mixing my steak and ice cream. They're both delicious on their own. I don't need them together.
That's a fantastic thing. What do you call it?
Dude, like imagine though a Star Fox F-Zero crossover racing game.
Analogy, yes.
Analogy. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, there are 2 games that I'd like to see brought back. And one kind of was, but not in the sense that I want to be brought back. And they are Chrono Trigger. Give me a proper 3rd installment, please. Okay, thanks, bye. And going old school, like way back to the PlayStation 1. Legend of Dragoon, give me a sequel, because that is one of the most underrated and underappreciated games of all time.
You know, I was talking about that earlier, like in the stream chat, about how it's going to be on PSN finally.
It is one of those games that a lot of people didn't play. But when they finally did play, it's got that really tight-knit group of hardcore fans.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people play it. Like I said, it's one of my favorite games. And then, of course, like Chrono Trigger, I would love to see them bring it back. Not just the DS remake, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But I would love to see another installment of that. And then, of course, the same thing everybody wants to see, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Wow.
Real 3, not 3DS.
I would like to see an extreme version of Paperboy.
Or Avoid the Noid. Avoid the Noid too.
I would like to see some remakes of just some of the random indie N64 games I used to play just for nostalgia boners.
Well, see, here's the thing. They had they had, the sequel to Conker's Bad Fur Day, which I was happy for, because that is probably the greatest game on N64. But I'd be okay with another Conker's too. The Great Mighty Pooh is the greatest bad guy in the
He is
history
pretty
of
damn sick, I must say. Conker's Bad Fur Day is a very, very unique game. I'll give it that much.
You know, a game that I want, like this is like my own personal thing.
Hmm?
Ever heard of a game called Billy Hatchet and Giant Egg?
I have heard a lot about that, and I never got it.
I want a second, and I want to
Played that at my friend's house.
I loved
Dude,
it.
I always considered picking that game up, but I never kind of went
It's
for
really
it.
good. It's
Mainly
really
because
good.
I had such fucking horrible experiences with Sega on GameCube. Not that their games were bad. No, their games were great. I loved Sega's games on GameCube. My issue was that my memory card corrupted on every single fucking Sega game, and it pissed me the hell off. I just decided to never buy one again on the GameCube because my memory card...
You bad.
I really did. It was the worst shit.
I'd love to see Skies of Arcadia 2 as well. But
Mhm. On the topic of Star Wars, though, for I guess what a franchise that would be very well rebooted, and I would think that this would be an excellent launch title for the Wii U, would be Rogue Squadron 4. I think that would be very, very good.
Or a new
It's-
Battlefront.
or a new Battlefront.
they've already got a Battlefront 3 in the works.
But Rogue Squadron 4, I feel like Rogue Squadron 2 nowadays is still like it's one of the best looking games on Wii. Like it looks better than most Wii games. It's a launch title for GameCube, and it looks really, really good. I think that if LucasArts or whoever developed it manages to do a Wii U game, Rogue Squadron 4, that game would look phenomenal, and I think it would work very well on the system, especially for the launch title.
I got a new franchise to put into play. Legacy of Kain series.
The
It's
what?
good.
I'd be okay with that.
It's like a PS2 franchise.
Yeah, I know what he's talking
Soul
about.
Reaver games, yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay.
They're really good.
I'll
So
tell you what I want to see.
hit me with your rhythm
An
stick.
extreme version of Paperboy.
You said that.
I did say that. I didn't know if it got through. And, what was the second one?
You don't even
First thing that
remember.
comes to mind is a sequel to Turtles in Time. Yes.
How about a sequel to Battletoads?
No, that's
There was already
Wait,
one
yeah.
on
Oh,
Battletoads.
here's
It was-
what.
you have to beat-
Battletoads and Double Dragon.
Wait.
You have to beat the first Battletoads first, which nobody's ever done, ever.
I
Yeah.
first Battletoads, okay. It required
Oh, watch out, we have a badass over here.
It required copious amounts of cheating, but I did it.
Do you guys remember?
Save
Do
stating.
you remember Base Wars for the Nintendo? It was a baseball game, and your team was robots. And if you're like called out and it's like really close, that you would battle your robots.
Wow.
Like you would get money, like at the end if you like won the game and stuff, so you could like build up your team and make them like big and badass and like hella good at fighting or pitching or whatever. It was a sick game, and they should redo that.
How about a new Gradius game? Because the Gradius games for the Super Nintendo were pretty fun. If you've heard of it.
I've never played them.
I've never played a Gradius game.
It's like a space shooter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with a new TIE Fighter game going way back in the day.
Oh,
Or like a next gen Contra. That'd be cool.
You know,
No,
going way
no
back in the day,
Contra.
something that you always used to be able to do. I'm not sure how many of you guys have actually done this, but it was possible because back then games were like consistently good. I would always just go to my local Blockbuster like every week. This was when I was really little, and my parents would take me there, and I would just look around the shelves at the N64 games, and I would have like no knowledge of almost any of these games. I would just pick one. I'd be like, this looks kind of interesting, and I would just rent it for the week, and I would play it. I had no idea what I was getting into. I found so many
Yes.
amazing just indie games by doing that. It was
And then
so
you
cool.
remembered that like Blockbuster closes down and you can't just go rent a game for a week anymore.
Yeah.
dude! And
Oh, I
if
found
you rent from Blockbuster now, you had to like have a credit card now. Like you couldn't just go do it as like a little kid anymore with your parents' card, which is sad. Like I was the exact same way, except for like the generation before, since I'm so old, because I play Super Nintendo. But I just go in like that box art looks sick, and then I'd pick it
Game
up.
was terrible, but the box art made up for it.
Well,
Box art is where it's at.
no.
Super 64
And
people?
like renting games was relatively cheap. It was like $5.
Yeah, it really was. It was a nice little.
All right, so I have to know real quick if anyone else has ever heard of a game for the N64. This is one of those games that I rented on my sprees. It's called Buck Bumble. Has anyone heard of it?
I've heard of it. I have no idea what it is.
It is the most freaking bizarre, yet just hilariously fun game ever. Alright, stay with me on this. You play as a cyborg bee, a bumblebee. He's got like guns and robot parts and shit, and your goal is to, there's like this garden, right, and it got infected by all these toxic chemicals, so all the insects in it are like mutant robot insects now, and they formed an army, and you have to try and destroy the queen in the hive mind to defeat the army and save the garden from the mutant insect hive mind.
Sold.
It is
Sold,
It
Paris.
is so freaking hilariously just...
Sounds wacky as fuck, and yes.
It's over the top. And here's the best part is the theme song right here. It is so freaking hilarious. It's just, I know it'll be stuck in your head for the next 20 years if you
I will
if you listen
watch
to
that when this is done, because it'll probably echo.
But
Yeah.
there we go. I think we've covered
Nope.
that pretty extensively, that topic.
If you want.
So,
Indeed.
thanks, Nagi, for being our mascot once again.
Oh,
course.
Nagi has a second question.
Well, it's kind of redundant now, but I was gonna ask what old games would you want remade in HD, but like not rebooted, like the same game, like remade.
Kingdom Hearts, okay, thanks.
Wind
I
Waker.
don't need
Okay,
it
thanks.
to rem-
Have fun.
Waker, yes.
Thanks for showing up,
What?
Nagi. We'll
No,
talk to you later.
no,
Bye.
no.
Turtles in Time.
No, things with cell shade art like that they're made like that so you don't have to pay attention to the fact that the graphics quality is low.
But Ferris, have you
I mean-
seen Wind Waker running in 1080p?
Yes, I've seen Skyward Sword running in 1080p too, but it looks great. But all I'm saying is that art style is used so the difference isn't quite as noticeable.
It
I
isn't.
mean, it's still
It isn't.
very... Yeah. I mean, obviously, I get what you're saying, but am I like the only one who doesn't really care about HD remakes of games?
Here's the thing. As a PlayStation 3 owner, I kind of have to, because of the only way I can play like the PS2 games that I really want to play.
True.
Because Sony decided to kick me in the nuts and say, no, can't play that.
See, I've just got a pretty powerful laptop and access to the internet, so I download emulators, and I have an Xbox controller.
Here's my issue. I don't have a 360 controller, and for me to go through the hassle of getting my PS3 controller on my laptop, A, half the buttons won't work properly, and B, it just is not worth the effort.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's better for me to go out and just get a 360 controller, which, again, can't afford at the moment, but I don't know. I want some of my PS2 games, and I want them now. So, Sony, I just want you to make it possible.
Anyway, we have our next caller, Naded.
Oh, hello there. You just got
Another friend of the show.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yep.
All right. Yeah, so my question was, is there a game that you personally like but everyone else thinks is either terrible or has never heard of it?
Buck Bumble would be the one for me, I think. Nobody's pretty much ever heard of that game. It's so good, though.
Again,
Okay.
Legend of Dragoon for me is probably the one that stands out the most because it didn't have a very large audience when the game came out. But I would have to think for a while before I could really find a game that is like everybody hated it and I loved it, or I loved it and just nobody knows about it.
It was like something. It was your secret pleasure. Like you always loved to play it, but everyone was like, if you saw you play, it was like, oh, he plays that.
Well, League of Legends right now, especially from these two fuckers.
Hey, I have no problem with League of Legends. I actually might be getting into it soon.
Well,
So.
thank you, Ferris, but I was referring to the one and a half fuckers.
Yeah,
The 1.5 fuck. For me,
Obviously, for MBZ, it's Final Fantasy 13.
I was just thinking the same thing.
that too. No, there are a lot of people who like Final Fantasy 13. Nagi being one of them, and Nagi being like a general fan of the Final Fantasy series, and he still likes it. So there you go.
I'm a fan of the series, just 13 was terrible.
No, yeah, okay, you're entitled to your opinion.
I feel like I just feel like a combination of the first 5 hours of the game being walking down a series of linear corridors, the main characters in the game having names that are all things that could ruin a picnic, and the game not actually getting good until 30 hours in. All of that combined.
I don't think that hope can ruin a picnic. I think that's wrong.
Sarah can
Lightning
ruin a
and snow
picnic,
sure
though.
damn could.
Sarah.
All the picnics.
No, but I think that apart from Final Fantasy 13, I think it's kind of difficult for me to choose something. That's a pretty big one. If it were movies, it would be easy. Star Wars Episode 1, motherfucker, come at me. But
It's good at me.
yeah,
Did you
exactly.
hear the dialogue in that movie? No, let's be honest.
Dude, I used to be able to recite Episode 1 word for word. I watched that film like 50 times. You have no idea.
Well, I did too. That's my first Star Wars back in like '99. But
Yeah.
I acknowledge now it's horrible.
Yeah.
Bad movie.
Yeah,
My
well,
first Star Wars.
the movie's
was
bad, of
Episode
course, but I have so much nostalgia for it that I will never see it in that light. So that's
Yeah.
what happens.
So we Star Wars
No,
again.
okay, I was just doing an example. We'll move on. It's okay. You can calm down. Yeah. Okay. I guess Final Fantasy 13 is a good example because I really, really do enjoy that game. People always complain like it's linear. I don't care. I like linear experiences. I want to feel like I'm making progress in a game. And in that game, I feel like it pushes you forward. You're making progress. I'm not wandering around this giant town looking for Mr. Potion 123 with his herbal essences. I don't like that about RPGs. I don't like stupid fetch quests and stupid, like, fucking save the...
No. Here's
Why don't
the
you tell
thing.
us how you really feel?
If you have the ability to press a single button and you have a regular body temperature of somewhere in the 90s, you can progress through that game.
No, you cannot, and Ferris, I'll tell you why. Because the battle system in Final Fantasy 13 is extremely complex, and it's very, very satisfying, it's very involved. The only problem is that, yes, for the first few hours, it isn't very involving, but the reason they do that is because the battle system is so complex that it requires you to sort of get into it. It requires a warm-up. It requires you to become familiar with it and kind of get used to it before you understand the more complex mechanics of the system. And clearly, you haven't played it far enough to know that.
I don't know. It's just
Here's
that
the thing. Final Fantasy
I don't think the game.
for 12 games, if your main party person died, you could still fight. In 13, if you die, it's game over.
But
If you have two other people who
what happens in every Final Fantasy. The mechanics change. It's just the same exact thing. It's just a mechanic change. That's all it is.
But here's the thing: if I'm playing Final Fantasy VII because it's the one everybody knows, if Cloud dies, it doesn't become game over. If I'm playing Final Fantasy 13 and letting whoever die, it's game over, regardless if I have two people at full health.
Yeah, but then here's the other difference. When you're playing Final Fantasy VII, if you die, you go back to your last save point. When you're playing Final Fantasy 13, you go right before the battle you just entered, and you can choose to go past it. It doesn't make a difference. The fantastic thing about that game is that it doesn't punish you for dying. It doesn't give you any punishment at all, which I find very rewarding, and it makes the game more satisfying, makes it easier to get through. Whereas older games, obviously like that, didn't have that kind of system implemented into them, and it was very frustrating.
Because back in the day is when you knew if you were a real gamer.
I know.
It always comes back to that.
It's not me trying to poke fun at you, MZ. It's the way it is. Games have been catered towards being, easier.
Exactly.
Back in the day, we had, Contra and Battletoads and all of these ridiculously hard games.
Yes.
And these days, the hardest games that I can think of are, Dark Souls and Demon Souls, which still don't compare.
Mm-hmm.
And that irritates me to a sense because I was one of those. I enjoyed getting frustrated and breaking controllers because I couldn't beat a game.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
like-
That was half of the experience for me.
I think you can.
And-
It feels like they've been.
I don't like getting frustrated.
And then there's, I don't remember exactly which one it was, but there was that Prince of Persia game where you physically couldn't lose the game. If you fell off a cliff, you would be brought right back.
You just
physically
rewind
couldn't
time.
lose.
Just rewind time.
Sure. It's just,
It's like
I
I feel like games have been kind of dumbed down. Like it's just an insult to people who enjoyed the challenges of like the older games.
Well, yeah, they have.
But you can say the same thing about everything. You can say the same thing about the exam system. You can say the same thing about movies. You can say the same thing about a lot of things. And that
you can't dumb down a movie. You're sitting in front of it
yes,
watching it.
have you seen like fucking the stupid epic movie comedy crap?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Here's the thing:
I did
they
see the
are
first three
they're
Star Wars
comedies.
movies.
Comedies are not meant to
Shut
be
up,
invoke thought whatsoever.
Yeah, I saw the prequels. You're right.
They are designed for you to sit there and watch and be entertained. Inception, you have to think. It's a thriller. That's the purpose of a thriller. A comedy is you sit and you see a dick and you laugh because it's a dick joke. Movies haven't changed. I mean, you can argue that the classics are still infinitely better, and in most cases they are. They're classics for a reason.
That's what happens, you know. That things change, and it's.
But I mean, overall, movies really haven't changed at all. Games, yeah, they have. They
By a
have
lot.
most certainly been dumbed down, which doesn't make sense because for people like us, we were around when games were hard, and in my opinion, more entertaining to play.
A lot of the reason why games are hard and why people didn't maybe understand how to. A lot of it to do with, I guess, controllers these days being more complex. You have many more configurations than you had back with the NES with 2 buttons. I mean, it wasn't that difficult to figure out in Zelda. You walk with the D-pad and then you use your sword with A and B's.
Yeah, but guess what? Every game has a tutorial of how to play.
Exactly, but you kind of
Except for Minecraft for some ungodly reason.
Well, yeah. Exactly.
This is the one game that needs it. It doesn't have it.
It does. It fucking needs it. You stand there for 5 hours hitting a tree constantly and it will not break because you're not holding the fucking button down.
I didn't even know to go hit a tree until my buddy told me.
Yes.
They should have just said they should have just said, here's the world, GLHF. That should have been the tutorial at the
They
beginning.
make you watch entire playthrough of someone playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
Like, I literally had to go look up Paul Sor Jr. in order to learn how to play Minecraft. You think they would have implemented that when the game was fully released, but no, they didn't.
No. Oh well.
You hit things with a tool, you gather resources, you build shit. That's Minecraft in a nutshell.
Yeah, it is, but you know what? If you've never played
Start out
Minecraft,
knowing that though.
for me, when I started playing Minecraft, it was back in alpha days when it wasn't big on YouTube or anything like that. There were a couple of channels that had it. And it was literally, here's the world, GLHF. My buddy had to tell me I had to go make tools. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then
Minecraft.
I had no idea how to make the tools, and then he left me.
Well, yeah,
I
look
don't
up
know what
FPS
I'm doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played Minecraft. That was my exact experience. Like, I have no idea what I'm fucking doing right now.
And there's a difference between that kind of a challenge there and back in the day. That is literally just, we didn't put a tutorial in, you're screwed, compared to, hey, Contra, if you get hit by a bullet, you're dead.
Mhm. It was punishing. It was a lot more punishing.
Once you're done.
Well, the thing about games back then was you didn't need it. You didn't need a tutorial. Like, you learned it through playing the game.
Mhm.
Like,
Well,
they
yeah,
just-
back then you had a D-pad and 2 buttons.
Yeah.
One's jump.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
yeah.
even back in the day, a lot of games still had a tutorial. Hit the B button to attack, hit the A button to jump.
But I feel a lot of the reason, well, not a lot, but I mean some of the reason why that was the case, why games were so hard, is because games were not that long. They were relatively short, and by giving that extra challenge, it kind of added longevity to it. You know, it would take you a lot longer to beat a game.
Well,
If
But
it,
even on
Here's
like the
the
Super Nintendo, when you could have, you know, the 20, 30 hour game because you had ability to save, they're still difficult. And really what it's boiled down to, people care more about it being flashy. It's the Michael Bay effect. If it looks nice, it's probably good, even though more often than not, it is shit.
Mhm.
Well, here's the thing. You want to hit a wide target audience, you're not going to want to make a Battletoads game. You're
No.
not going to want to make Contra. You're going to want to make a game that's playable and it's fun to play, and you're going to be able to make your way through it no matter what your skill level is.
Yeah.
And I don't
that's why
think
a lot
that's
of
necessarily
developers
a bad thing.
It's- I
But-
disagree. If somebody all of a sudden Contra comes out in HD, that game is going to do really well because a lot of gamers were around when it came out. They remember that frustration, and it was entertaining as all hell. But
Yeah,
these
but you have to
days,
be
it is the
over
all
20
style,
to know
no
what Contra
substance. I want it
was.
to look really good, and that is where I'm putting all my money.
Yeah, but like
It's-
a company's target audience, like I don't think reaches that far.
It does.
I mean, you have to be like 22 to like remember Contra,
Mhm.
and so,
yeah.
like that's like just like the edge of like their target audience. They're trying to get kids with disposable income, not like a full-grown adult.
Yeah.
But yeah, games are infinitely easier, and I don't really have like a problem. Okay, I have a problem with the games being easy, but I don't have a problem with them being where you can't really lose. You just have to try a whole bunch.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, save points and stuff and like all that stuff. Like, I don't have a problem with it just being you're gonna beat it eventually as long as you keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah. But an easy game is horrible. Like God of War is by all means not really that hard of a game, but you're gonna beat it eventually,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all right.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what they did with Rayman Origins. You have infinite lives, but it's really challenging after a while. So it's they're like, good
Rayman
luck beating
Origins
this, but you can try
kept
as long
really
as you
true
want.
to old school Rayman. They didn't.
I really like Rayman Origins.
I don't have it, but I have played it, and I enjoyed it as well.
Mm-hmm. It is difficult. I mean, I downloaded the demo on.
Tip of the hat to Rayman Origins.
Yeah, I
I just
downloaded
love
the
Rayman. It was one of my favorite games. It was one of those things where, when it originally came out, half the people were like, "This is not going to do well," and it just created its own niche setting. And obviously, it's done well enough that it's still being made today.
somehow. Even though they've released Rayman 2 on what is perhaps like 20 different platforms at this point, which is ridiculous. But whatever, you know. It's
I love
that's how
Rayman.
they roll.
I love the guy not having any sort of limbs. There's the word. You couldn't think of it. He's got hands and feet, but he's got no limbs.
Yeah. It's interesting, Rayman. I think Origins is good for it, definitely, because I guess he was going the way of Sonic, so it's refreshed him a little bit, which is nice. But yeah, going back to that thing with the games and the stuff, I feel a lot of the reason games were a lot tougher was because they were just simpler. Like, the base mechanics of the game were simpler. Therefore, it was very easy to make the game difficult. When you have games that are modern and that have so many more mechanics and so many more things to consider, a physics engine and all this stuff, it is a lot more difficult to make the game difficult, if you see where I'm coming from, you know? It's much harder for developers to achieve the same effect. So, that is another reason why, you know, things aren't going to be as difficult in the modern era.
I think when it boils down to it, a lot. I mean, there have actually been developers who have said this, and they're not exactly happy with the way it's come out, but they're being told to make games that look nice instead of games that have a lot of substance to them. Mm-hmm. Call of Duty, prime example. That game that looks nice, single player, 3 hours.
Call of Duty is a cash cow. That's all it is at this point. We know that. It's very hard.
But, I mean, it's a prime example. It's a game that they just want to look nice because they know it's going to sell. Mm-hmm. The single player on those games is terrible.
But that's not what people are buying it for, though. That's the thing. People aren't buying it for the single player. They're buying it for the multiplayer.
I'm aware of that. But the fact of the matter is, that is... Obviously, that's the audience. And why is it the audience? Because we have been prone to games that have been dumbed down to the point where they don't take skill. Halo at least has some semblance of skill. You can't walk up to somebody, knife them, and they die.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and speaking of Halo 4, to my knowledge, is going more the way of Call of Duty. It's in like customizable loadouts. Which is kind of meh.
I'm okay with customizable loadouts. I think that is a good mechanic in any first-person shooter. They have it in Tribes in a very limited fashion, but it does certainly give that game more appeal to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I gotta play Tribes to spend.
The way video games have really been going down, it's the road of the achievements. I want to unlock everything because I have a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Back in the day, their sense of accomplishment was beating a game.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are 150 trophies. Let's go unlock them all.
I feel that. Yes, games. That's a good point though with the trophies. Is that it is a way for developers to make games more difficult by adding those things and those, you know, things in games that you wouldn't usually go and do, are very tough to pull off, and you get rewarded for doing so. That's where I guess a lot of challenge lies in games. If you just go through a game normally, then it won't have as much of an impact in terms of the difficulty level. But going for a platinum, that's tough. That is tough, I'll give you that. So, yeah.
Yep.
No way, we got completely off topic from the question.
Yes, we did.
I forget what the question was.
It was game, wasn't it?
Game that you like that no one else does.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Slash never heard of.
We
Or
talk
doesn't
a
know.
lot. We talk a lot. It's fine. It's what we do.
It's good because we didn't have any topics today, so we had
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
stall for time.
Anyway,
Thank you for calling in, Nate.
thank you
No
very
problem.
much.
I'm sure we'll hear from you again
Yeah.
in the future.
It was a pleasure.
All
Have a
right.
good day, guys.
See ya.
See you.
Next episode. See you later.
Okay.
I already kicked him, so because I know how to do it properly, unlike a certain NBZ.
Yes, sure. Anyway, I believe that's going to close out our show for today. It was
It was interesting.
yeah,
The hour and a half pre-show that was not a pre-show, and
that kind of reduced my life by a little bit.
NBZ is fine. I'm fine, but today is Fizz not having internet.
Yeah,
And I wasn't hit by a tornado today, so I guess I'm good.
yeah.
There you
I
go.
wasn't hit by it last time either. It didn't even come close to us, but it was like, yeah. So no tornado today.
Indeed. Anyway, I guess all that
Let's
remains is
shameless
the-
whoring of ourselves.
Shameless whoring.
Unfortunately, Mike has disconnected, so NBZ, I'll let you start.
You can follow me on Twitter at NBZ, that is ENNBEEZED. You can like me on Facebook at Facebook/LordNBZ. You can go to my YouTube channel, EmperorZNB, where I post lots of videos of lots of things. It's fun. Go.
Didn't you just do Metroid today?
I did. You can go to my LP channel, which is where I do Let's Plays of lots of different games. I am playing Metroid Fusion on there right now, and I'm almost done. That game will be finished by the end of this week, so go watch it if you want to. Da-da-bum.
And I assume that you just typical battles and stuff.
Yeah.
Anything particularly you wanted to plug besides your LPs?
Minecraft, I guess, is coming. That's all. That's going to be finished soon, I guess, and that's about it. Just the standard stuff, standard fare.
Alrighty. Ferris, I'm going to
Okay.
ask you, do you have anything going on this week?
As far as like videos go that I'm uploading,
Sure.
probably not, because I need to get a second router working in my house so I can start battling again. But that should happen soon. Probably this weekend, maybe even. So that's good. And anyone who's watching, if you want, go subscribe to my channel, Ferris Wheel 32, founder and creator of Epic Wheel Time, trademark, and
Trademark.
Also, giver of names
God.
such as Executive Disco. I can't even remember what it.
I've dubbed MVZ the executive parliamentarian chairman, disco master of the Pokemon Pit. So
I don't even know what you just said, but that
so
sounded
D-Mac
amazing.
D-Mac and Hayden can go eat their hearts out.
Yeah.
And anything else do I have? I upload stuff besides Pokemon. Just depends on like.
Melee!
So yeah, Melee a lot sometimes, and I play more than I upload. But
He does indeed.
That's-
Have
thing.
like Twitter or anything that you...
I do not have Twitter. I should make a Facebook fan page though at some point.
You should do a Twitter
But no-
page as well.
But no one will follow it.
Oh,
I hate
I
Twitter.
would, like 7 times, but you know that already, so. Yeah.
You'd make like 7 accounts and follow it. So
Duh.
So that's happening. If you subscribe, you're cool. If you don't, that's fine, because I don't hold grudges. So I think that'll be it for me,
Oh,
Mr. Feinheimer.
well, because once again, Mike has disappeared on us, I will go ahead. Twitter is High and Fiber, no numbers, but my YouTube is youtube.com, highandfiber21, because some prick took my name. In terms of videos, I did a Beyond the Podcast yesterday, so you can go ahead and check that out. In terms of stuff coming out this week, I will do more Tribes Ascend at some point this week. The VOD for this sometime this week, I'm sure. And then I think that's it in terms of what I have planned this week. But a lot of my uploads are kind of spur of the moment whenever I feel like.
Ooh. Just remember.
Yes, Ferris.
At some point, hopefully soon, NBZ and I are going to be doing a Portal 2 co-op LP.
That's
So,
fine.
There you
sometime.
go.
so look out for that on both our channels.
Mhm.
It is going to happen. I can guarantee
Event sometime in the future, in the misty future, but yeah.
What I would like
Yes.
to promote in terms of my channel, etc., is that although for some reason my mic wasn't working on stream today, I do plan on doing streaming Probably going to start that this weekend, either tomorrow or Sunday. Whether or not I have my mic involved is irrelevant. I can certainly stream gameplay without me talking. So you can go ahead and look at
wants
that.
to hear that.
Well, yeah, exactly. But you can go ahead and check that kind of stuff out because that
You can
obviously
follow him on. Actually, you're going to stream on Own 3D. So
I will probably stream on own3d.tv.
Yeah.
But mostly just check out my channel. Beyond the Podcast is something that I would like to get more input on, and I have not received anybody emailing me in yet. It makes me sad on the insides. But hopefully some people will get in on that. And, yeah, Twitch TV, High and Fiber if I do it there. Own 3D, High and Fiber if I do it there. Haven't really decided yet. And then, of course, YouTube, High and Fiber 21. Fizz, do you have a connection stable enough to talk for a moment?
Oh, we'll find out, won't we? So my Twitter tweets, which I use sparingly, is going to be Twitter. I'm at elfizz. That's ELFIZZ. Facebook / well, you got to put the .com in there. Facebook.com/FizzStardust, and I got the Tumblrs, which is my name on Tumblr is the Fizz. And this week for me, let's see, I get to pretty much make my own schedule this week, I think, as far as work goes. So this week should be good for videos.
You're gonna get some videos from your...
Tommy Conan out.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I really want to do that right now.
Are you gonna get some video footage when you're at regionals? That would be cool.
I may get some video footage at regionals tomorrow. I may not.
But that's up in the air, indeed. So, yeah.
Oh, he's still here.
Yeah, oh god.
Are you going to talk?
Wait, hold on 1 second.
We don't have time to hold on 1 second.
He's left.
He's left, but he actually left on his own accord.
Yeah, exactly.
But before he comes back, I would just like to say there will not be a podcast next weekend. We are currently working on a every other week format just because it's easier to schedule with 3 different people, especially with Mike, who does have some odd
3 different
work schedules.
people, 3 different time zones. It's tough.
So look out for that, which means I might compensate by doing a longer Beyond the Podcast this week if there's some newsworthy stuff. Otherwise, we'll just pick up again in 2 weeks. But unfortunately, Mike has still not joined us. Trying to think of how I can stall for time. I think NBZ is going to start an LP on how to use XSplit on his LP channel.
Oh, fuck you.
Because he is a master.
I may get some stuff there. I may not.
And Fizz is back. Fizz is back.
Well, yes. I'm talking about my channel now. So I may get some footage at regionals tomorrow. I may not. I got the usual stuff there on my channel, the Pokemon battles and stuff. I got a lot of guest narrations lined up, hopefully. Actually got one in today, so that's good. And then, yeah, hopefully I'm going to get Konami Code NF. And I'm not actually talking to anyone, am I?
Yeah.
No, you are. We're here.
Yes.
Just sum it up quick before you disconnect again, because can't stall for time anymore.
And she's gone. Anyway.
Also, NBZ is going to be doing an LP of Zelda CDI, so.
Oh, fuck off. There we go. That's going to be it for...
But we're not going to wait for Mike to come back. Thank you guys for watching. If you showed up on the stream, we apologize for the terrible amounts of delay and all the technical details throughout the show.
As a final note, the podcast is now on iTunes. You may well be listening to this on iTunes right now. But the iTunes link...
this is on iTunes?
It is.
Yes.
So you can go download this and listen to this to your heart's content on the
Are you getting money for this?
No.
Oh. But you put it on. I thought that some of the profit would go to you. That would only make sense.
Yeah, but podcasts are free, Farish.
Yeah,
so.
it's free download.
Yeah, I know.
But as I was saying, if you watch this on YouTube or you downloaded the podcast, thanks for the support, guys. Love for you guys to show up when we do it live, if we can ever have one live without any problems.
Not gonna happen.
I think we had the pilot fine, and that was it.
That's great.
But again, thank you guys for watching. I don't know if either of you have any final notes.
Nope, that's me done.
Ferris?
Thank you for riding the Ferris wheel,
Boom.
I guess.
Let us ride off into the sunset and just wave and say goodbye.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Bum bum bara bara bum 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 bara bara bum 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 dun 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 use this as outtakes. That'll be good.